Top 5 fits for Matt Rhule, and this is based on the jobs that are open at this exact moment and one that's not, but will be. And there's not 5 jobs in college football that are open and fit him. So you heard John McClain just talk about it. So number 5, Auburn. Look, if he wants to get in the SEC and build a program that's got some success in the past, Auburn's the one. Now, the problem is there is a circus that runs the kind of a shadow government that runs the athletic department, and they're never happy about anything. They have little brother syndrome really bad because of Alabama, and it's understandable, but they may never understand that you can never be Alabama. You can only be Auburn. So just try to be the best version of yourself,
which hasn't been
bad. They've been to national championship games. They've won them very recently. Just stay the course. Don't freak out. But if I'm Matt Rhule, I might stay away from this one in particular, just because there is very little control you have as a head coach over this job.
I mean, I think the shadow governments you refer to are just boosters.
Yeah, exactly,
everybody's dealing with them. I just think that theirs are a little bit off the rails in comparison to maybe some others, and there's, reasons for that. But I just, I forget even that. Even if that was totally normal, I just don't see Auburn as a fit for him. I don't see him going to Auburn, Alabama to plant his roots and, build that team back up. It just does not seem like a fit. It's like a square peg in a round hole to me. So, if he wants the SEC glory or whatever, then by all means, I could see him wanting that challenge. But I also could see him definitely not wanting to dive into the SEC as his follow-up to a failure in Carolina. I think that he's a little bit more calculated than that. And I've said it a couple times now, and I'll keep saying it. I think he's very smart about how he selects things. And I think, rather than being somebody who had just jumped at the Jets or wherever may have first, talked to him NFL-wise, he waited, and as a result got a massive deal from Carolina that was as good as you could have gotten. And so he's not going to just jump to the SEC unless he feels like there's some real deal stuff going on at Auburn that's going to have them competing with Bama and with Georgia and with the rest of them.
If he can win at Temple and turn them around, and win at Baylor under the circumstances and turn them around, he can win pretty much anywhere as far as in college. But I think he likes that rebuilding challenge. Some guys are just that way.
I also think the definition of winning is different for this school, perhaps, versus those others.
No question.
The definition of a lot of things.
And he did have some leftovers from the Art Briles regime, but he also then was able to turn some of the guys in we saw last year perform so well. One person a part of a search committee that was a part of hiring Matt Rhule said to me from the beginning, he will go where the talent is close by.
Yeah. Number 3, Arizona State. We heard John saying the talent leaves the state, but there's talent in that state. And this is a rebuild. Like Craig, you said, this is a rebuild job. This is trying to maximize the potential of a place I've been to. Smokey, you've been there. Craig, you've been to Arizona State.
Oh, love it.
There's nothing wrong with that place, man. It has all kind of advantages to going to school there. If you're from California, it's a short flight. For your family, there's all these, you can get to Phoenix from literally anywhere, pretty quickly and direct. It's not expensive, even far away to go there. It's just going to take the right guy. I think he could do well there. I just don't know if that's the job that, he would want, but it's a rebuild job at a place that you can make really good in a conference that's losing, its 2 most storied programs in USC and UCLA.
And with that comes what for Arizona State?
Potential to maybe, or potential to either go in another conference or maybe be one of the better teams in that league.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting at there's a little bit of uncertainty going on there right now, whether it's the conference they're playing in or what the NCAA is going to do. Yeah. And so I just wonder and I'm with you, this would be, if it's all equal, this would be a really good job, and I could see it being one that he would take. He's done his East Coast thing. He's been to the central states, so to speak, here in Texas, and I could see him heading west. But I do think that he's not going to jump into an NCAA investigation unless he has a pretty good idea that
again,
exactly. So I think he's going to have to check some boxes there, and also kind of get some reassurances about are we going to play Power 5 football or Power 2 or whatever it ends up being. Are we going to be in that mix? But yeah, that makes sense, that spot.
Number 3, TV for a year. This one makes a lot of sense to me. Doing college football wherever, he's been good on TV when he's done it. NFL Draft was really good.
You know, was really good on that. Gary Patterson was really good on those NFL Draft, the round the clock room. But you would think his personality, his voice, the way he communicates, his history, he would be very good at that. I haven't seen him very much, but you're right. I remember the NFL Draft.
Yeah, I think TV for a year would be pretty good. Look, I remember thinking that Mark Richt wouldn't maybe be very good on TV, and I watch him on the ACC Network every week, and he's quite good. You know, so like, and Matt Rhule has a bigger personality than Mark Richt does. Mark Richt was kind of like this, but he's very knowledgeable. Look, I'll tell you right now, I don't get the Urban Meyer is good on TV thing. It might be just the fact that I don't like him, but I find him to be very droll and boring.
I do not watch the Fox Game Day, and I don't watch too many of the game days. I don't watch it, whatever it's called. I'm sorry. I don't watch it because Urban Meyer's on it.
Yeah,
but I do think it's kind of sleazy the way they've just rolled him back out there like nothing's ever. I really that has. I'm not the judge, juror, and everything like that by any means, but that does bother me a little bit, and I can't explain exactly why, other than just why give him more chances. He's clearly done nothing to deserve them, but here we are.
Yeah, just
he
like
has a hellacious agent.
Yeah.
I think that he could probably kill somebody, and after he served his time, they'd have him back on the set because he's a national championship winning Urban Meyer.
Just brought him back, and they were like, "Hey, where you been?"
Joining us via Skype from his cell, and that's kind of how it feels. But and I know he didn't ever go to those links. His former players did in some cases, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's just kind of weird.
Number 2, and this one's to me the least likely on the board, is Wisconsin. They really want Jen Leonard to work out. Uncultured Barbarian yesterday sent us a super chat about how just the game felt completely different with Jim Leonard overseeing everything and Bobby Ingram down from the booth on the sidelines. And I mean, they had a great game last week. We'll see if he can continue it. The Wisconsin people want Jim Leonard to have this job. This is Jim Leonard's dream job. He wants this job. The whole area of Madison wants it to be Jim Leonard. But if it's not, this is a fit for Matt Rhule.
Yeah, if it's not, based on last week, it will be.
Yeah.
And let's see how the rest of it plays out. But, yeah, the Badgers looked good and looked fired up to play and, just looked really, really good. So I can see why there's, a bunch of fans for Jim Leonard to be the next guy up there. And it seems like it's pretty much a no-brainer, barring some, skidding off the rails, which doesn't seem likely. So, yeah, long shot, but I think he'd fit in a lot of ways, sure.
Yeah. And number 1 of the open jobs, the one that's a total rebuild and in a big spot, is Nebraska. Now, like you said, he's going to go where the players are. This is not necessarily that, but I do think that Nebraska, because of what their commitment will be to getting those players, might be able to make that lesser.
I think Nebraska is going to have to promise whoever is the next head coach that they are going to have basically unlimited NIL.
Yeah.
And if he gets that, then, yeah, I'm sure he will be enticed by going to Nebraska because, yes, recruiting is very important. That was one of the major pulls of being at Baylor, was just being able to drive, an hour in each direction and go find blue-chip high school football players. So I do think that matters. And I think Nebraska appears as though they're, on the verge of doing just that, basically, is opening up the check. I mean, they're clearly opening up the checkbook to pay Scott Frost to get out of there early and to pay whoever the next coach is. It's going to be a massive deal. But I also think that, he'd need some assurances about the recruiting side of things, which would be NIL. And if he got that, then, I think he could do well there.
Well, they are doing a bunch with the NIL. In fact, Matt Davison's leaving the athletic department to be a part of some new endeavor that's connected with NIL. And so that's that with what they have. The facilities are building this massive deal. The point is, can you get athletes there? I think you can get athletes anywhere. You have to have the right pitch and the right person to get them there. All right, I don't think he'll end up there. And Wisconsin's a better job. Auburn's a better job. But maybe that is the case.
What if he sat down with Trev Alberts and he said, listen, I like everything, but David Smoak's going to call me too much. And I can change my phone number. He'll get it. There's no... I mean, I just can't do it.
All right. He did change his number when he went to Charlotte.
Yeah, but you found that one out.
I did.
Yeah.
Jacob Will. He chewed me out.